So you guys have all heard the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, Forrester took that to a whole nother level, and they realized that a minute of video is worth 1.8 million words. That is a lot of words. How many of you guys use video either in your personal lives or at work or as part of your profession? Very good. It's becoming increasingly important, as we all know, especially through the Comm Lead program. I became interested in video watching a Mr. T action show at Universal Studios when I was 12. That was like, oh my gosh, my big aha moment. Then shortly thereafter, my mom got remarried, and my new stepsister was blind. Now, right now, you're probably going, where did you get over there from? All of a sudden, I was thinking about video and production in a different way because I had somebody that was differently abled in my life. And I started thinking about accessibility at 12. Now, granted, my thoughts probably weren't super deep at that point. Then I moved back up to Seattle after 10 years in LA doing my reality shows, and I met a man named Levi. And Levi runs an amazing nonprofit called Melodic Caring Project. This project connects kids that have terminal cancer with rock stars on tour. So basically, he goes to the stars having a concert, asks them to do a call out and a Skype feed into the hospital for these kids. And in the middle of the concert, they go, hey, Emma, I'm glad you're healing and doing well, keep it up. And then they video the kids on the other side cheering, and they raise a bunch of money to bring this experience to these kids that are suffering. And I thought, what kind of accessibility is that? It's amazing. So I've seen this happen in many ways, and as you start to contemplate any different kinds of connectivity you want to do, I encourage you to consider video, and I encourage you to think about your broader community that you're trying to reach. Everybody knows the standard video, there's speech, there's music, there's video. An example of this is, I think, of the Fred Hutch organization. They had an interesting challenge that I spoke with them about. They're sending training to Africa to do these trials to help eradicate disease. But they want all the trainings to be the same regardless of what remote community they're in. So they created videos. Now, they'd love to do a live stream, but because of the bandwidth coming into the country, they can't do that quite yet. I am hoping that we can help them with that at some point. But they can use the video, the same video, to train all their employees. They also can use this video to communicate with members of these different remote communities about how their blood samples are going to be used. Some of them are afraid that when you take their blood, part of their soul is leaving. So it's very, very terrifying for them. But if they can better understand where it's going, they might be able to rethink that or have a different community conversation around that. Also, a few years ago, Microsoft made a mandate across all corporate video for internal and external video that everything has to be fully accessible. Fully accessible. This means that every video that Mighty Media makes for Microsoft has to have captioning. It has to have descriptive audio. So thinking of my sister, she is now able to use that. Sometimes I would think really, it's a talk show. Do you need descriptive audio? But we don't realize how many things that we get visual cues from. So having that descriptive audio is just one more ad. There's also another way to do global video. Microsoft wanted to do a recruiting campaign. So they decided to make a video using lots of visuals and music with no audio to show what life at Microsoft is like, what the challenges are like. And the other really cool thing that Microsoft has done that we've been lucky to work with them on is when we do the closed captioning, you can do it in hundreds of languages simultaneously for a live audience. Hundreds of languages. So you can reach people in hundreds of communities with your messaging. So that is amazing. Some of it has to be cleaned up. It is machine generated, but it's actually fairly affordable. One other story that really has hit me this year is going back to, I have a real passion for children. Skype did something called Skype-a-thon. So for 48 hours, we did a live streamed webcast connecting school children around the world for a virtual field trip. So over 48 hours, kids in different classrooms in different countries were learning from one another and learning that we're different and that's beautiful, but we're also all the same. It's incredibly inspiring to watch these children light up and cheer and understand at such a young age how they can connect with communities all over the world. And Skype has made that possible regardless of cost, because Skype is right there. You just dial in, and there's many, many services. I don't need to be a commercial for Skype. It's just what I've personally used. It was really exciting. Their goal was to make 10 million virtual miles this year, and we were pleased to say we reached 14 million virtual miles with Skype-a-thon. So I just want to keep you guys thinking, as you look at what you need to do in your jobs or in your personal life, remember about different communities. Remember about the blind community. Sometimes communities are so small that we forget about them, or they're not currently in our environment. But it's something that person could be the person that could change the world. So making sure things are accessible by using some of the tools to Skype people in or to connect virtually, some of the tools to use subtitling and captioning and descriptive audio. Keep that in mind as you release your videos, because it can make the world a much better place and connect you to people you never knew were right there. Thank you.